with attitudes. Look at these niggas with attitudes. Look at these niggas with attitudes. Look at these niggas with attitudes. Hello, I started this gangsta shit, and this the motherfucking things I did. Hello, I started this gangsta shit, and this the motherfucking things I did. The motherfucking world is a ghetto, full of magazines.
The camera was on mute. So the mic was on mute. That's not a great way to begin a show. How are you, everyone? It's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Oh my goodness. I'm Ethan Van Sciver. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I got a little distracted there. I started the show and Andrea came down the stairs and was just like, "Are you live?" And I'm like, "Yes, yeah, kind of." But it didn't matter because the microphone was on mute. Merbley says, that little kid video gave me feels. Have a hug, EVS. Oh my God. You know, this has been an amazing, first of all, I just woke up like a little while ago. I slept through the afternoon, so I could work overnight tonight. And it's been kind of a crazy afternoon since I woke up because I did a oh boy. Oh, I'll show you guys in case you haven't watched the video yet. I normally don't get like this. I'm normally able to kind of deal with stuff like this without getting upset, and I actually did. And Andrea was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not okay." Actually, openly weeping over this. Let me just show you here, and this is from the Metro. I think Metro. When they say Metro here, I think is this gay? I mean, is it gay? That being the case, I don't have any reason to doubt this article. I have less of a reason to doubt this article. Like clearly, this is not a political grievance. This is because Disney right now is loved by the gays. I think this is just a story that cuts right to your heart. You know, Disney wouldn't allow this little boy who was 4 years old to look at this tombstone. He died. Everyone is oh God, it's so hard. This was the tombstone design that he was going to have. His family wanted him to have because this little boy was more of a hero than anyone in mainstream comics, more of a hero than anyone in comics, period. And I think if anyone has a right to, if anyone has a right to have Spider-Man or anyone that they want on their tombstone, whoever inspired this little boy in his 4 years of very short, painful life to go forward and still smile like this when this was the other half of his reality, in a little diaper with a Spider-Man action figure holding up his tubes here, allow him to breathe. Then anybody, I mean, there is no other hero. There's no better use of these characters, of Marvel's characters, which I think Disney owns now. I think Disney has something. Well, they have Spider-Man. I think they have Spider-Man because he's in the MCU movies. In any case, Disney is the company that was petitioned for the rights to put Spider-Man on this little boy's tombstone, and Disney's response was, "We don't like our characters to be associated with death." So I don't know what to say. I don't know if it gets more evil than that or not. I can't imagine it being more evil than this. I don't think just thoughtless. Disney. Your characters would not be associated with death. They would be associated with the very heroic and brief life of a little boy who fought hard and used one of these characters that Stan Lee created to give his little tiny body, which was racked with disease, strength in the last moments of his life. And the idea that you would deny this family anything, the idea that the company that Walt Disney founded would not swoop in and purchase the tombstone and talk about this boy and talk about him and talk about his heroic struggle. Look at he's got the red and blue balloons in his funeral. I don't get upset, very often. But this story actually got through to me, and I had to go upstairs and give Ava a big hug and just hold on to her. Ava loves superheroes too, and my heart, my everything I have in me goes out to this family of these parents of this boy and what they must be going through. Horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And that's a part of the Disney that I'm afraid we're coming to know. A lot of the things that we talk about, the mismanagement, the crazy stuff that goes on with Disney and their choices and their ideas about what heroism means, their dismantling of masculinity, everything that Disney has been doing that we fight against here. It kind of just gets underscored by decisions like these that are shameful. And Disney, what can I say? All of us need to kind of come out and say, reverse this decision, reverse the decision, reverse it. I would be honored. I'd be honored uh, if someday Cyberfrog could serve a similar function to what Spider-Man served to this little boy. I just, I've cried. I cried so hard. Andrea came out like, "What's wrong?" Oh man, it's something else. When you're a father, these things mean different. I'm sure they mean, I'm sure they get through to you guys, if you don't have kids. But when you do have a kid and you think about them, and it's so easy to empathize and just feel for other families. So, what can I tell you? Hi, everyone. Let me see. Disney is a government psyop, says Mitch. That's possible. Joseph Valencia says, Bob Iger is literally the second coming of Michael Eisner. Heck, he was Eisner's handpicked successor. Roy never wanted him as CEO. King of Scotland says, in the end, entropy wins, and none of this matters. And Zero Depressive says, I don't understand what they would have to lose. I don't either. They're overly protective of their copyrights and trademarks. I get it. But there's a time and a place. There's a moment. There's a circumstance in which those issues come second to just having a heart. And this is one of those moments. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm done. I'm done crying about this. I'm moving on. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with these people. And it just further validates it. It makes me feel kind of like, yeah, you keep going with this stuff. Keep letting people know, and see what you can do. See if you can implement a change. I mean, we, all of us together, we have a voice. We have a voice as a group. As a group that we call ourselves the Fandom Menace, because first of all, it's damn clever, and second of all, because Disney knows who that is. They know what the Fandom Menace is. So when you associate yourself with a hashtag, with a group, your voice carries. One lone voice does not have the same power as many voices saying, hey, we're speaking as a group now. That has a lot more power than simply speaking as individuals. And we want to keep our individualism. We definitely want to, fight for divergent opinions and come up with the best ideas. But I mean, when it comes to something like this and trying to create some sort of change, it's good when we speak up together. We got a new member, Deucey the Snowman. Thank you, Deucey the Snowman. Appreciate that. I just added a join. You can join this channel if you want to. I think I'm not sure of all the details yet. I'm having special badges made for my members, Cyberfrog badges and Laughing Man badges that you'll be able to get if you join the channel. A lot of you super chat me $5, every time I do a live stream, and I thought, well, how about if instead you join the channel for $5 once a month? YouTube is fighting Patreon right now. Patreon, of course, has let us down as of recently. They become politicized. Of course, there are people who think that YouTube is as well. But for now, YouTube is a great platform. We have this platform. It is ours to talk to you through. Even though we're fighting demonetization and all of these things, we still do have YouTube right now. Now, I'm kind of experiencing something interesting. My videos, whenever I mention SJWs and feminism, my videos get demonetized. all of my live streams get demonetized, all of them. So I'm trying to find a way to fight back against this and still make doing YouTube something that I can use as a part-time job, which is what it is. It's my other job. It's the one I really have fun with, and I think I enjoy it a little bit more. Wow, a lot of new members coming in. There must be. I think there's a button down there. I haven't seen it. I don't see it myself. New member, welcome Jeff Smith. Welcome Downshift. Welcome Black Wolf Senpai. Welcome Hatch 450SX. Appreciate it. Seahawk Scott, thanks for $20. Disney's decision was shameful and unconscionable. Keep it up, Disney. The wheel is coming around. SR Joker, thanks for joining. Tickets, thank you for joining. And Saniko, thank you for joining. Stanley, thank you for joining. These are all new members. You can join. It's basically like Patreon, but it's $5 a month. Now, initially, what my idea was, and this, you guys gave me hell about this. Initially, my idea was, well, you know, maybe I can kill two birds with one stone. I'll leave my live streams up for 24 hours, and then I'll take them down and put them in an archive that's members only. So only members can have access to this. Now, I thought this was a good idea. But what you guys told me and what I heard loud and clear was we don't feel like we're getting something. We feel like we're losing something. So I'm going to have to, I decided to reverse that decision. When I feel like I've made a mistake, I do backpedal. Okay. And I say, okay, I hear you. Got it. I didn't think of it that way. Put all the videos back in the public again. And we're just, you know, we're going to deal with that. I think I'm going to create special content, perhaps special live streams for members. Wherein, what you guys can do is we will meet up. If you're a member of this channel, we will meet up, private live streams. You guys will get the links, and we are going to be able to counsel. You guys are going to be able to talk to me one-on-one about the content of the channel, what you'd like to see more of, what you'd like to see less of, and it's going to be more exclusive. So I'll make time for that once a month, where if you guys pledge your $5 a month, we're going to do these private interactions. Again, the buttons are coming. I've got 3D Robin working on those right now. They have to be really low res. So he's working on making simplified buttons right now. Angela Richter says, it's a join button by the subscribe button. Oh, how about that? Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So I still don't see it, but I guess it's there for you guys. New member, let me see. Stanley, thank you. Matt Nesheim, thank you for joining. Angela Richter, thanks for joining. Soyberfrog, thanks for joining. Heretic Honker, thanks for joining. Jackie Myers, thanks for joining. Hugh Jass, thanks for joining. Chimera Comics, thanks for joining. Chief of Comics, Larry Romano. Plus, your names turned green. Okay, so you're officially a member. Your comments in the chat will probably get more attention because your names are green. New member J Sim, new member Rainbolt. Thank you guys, appreciate you. Figs Matter with your boy Cecil. Thank you for joining. And I wish you could get a members only rad jacket. I don't know if I could afford it for $5 a month. I don't think I could afford the jackets for $5 a month, but you never know. Skeet Meat, thank you. All right, so I'm going to go on with the show here. The show is called 2 anti-EVS hit pieces in one day. How does this happen? How do I get 2 hit pieces in one day? People must be feeling froggy out there. Oh, before we do that, let me show you this. This kind of tickled my heart, but also made me feel kind of sad. Bleeding Cool, of course, has a guy named Jude Terror. Jude Terror writes, oh, wow, look at all the memberships coming in. Thank you, guys. Jude Terror writes kind of trolly articles for Bleeding Cool, and Bleeding Cool is almost entirely disingenuous. Everything in Bleeding Cool is disingenuous. When it's written by Jude Terror, it's kind of funny. I disagree with Jude Terror about everything. He's a far left winger, but I think Jude Terror isn't. Let me say, I feel better about Jude Terror than I feel about Rich Johnson. Let me just put it that way. Only because I think I've had real, genuine conversations with Jude Terror that I have not had with Rich Johnson ever. Rich Johnson's always got an ulterior motive. He's always kind of got some sort of scam. He's always got something going on, and he's underhanded. Everything is underhanded with him. It's ridiculous. William says live stream needs mail-in and Cecil. No, not this time, because I got to control. This is all about me. I've got to control what gets said in discussing live hit pieces about me. I'm afraid it'll spin off the rails otherwise, but maybe we'll do one later if those guys want to come in and discuss this as well. Hold on, let me get a drink. All right, so bears versus climate change and capitalism, and Care Bears unlock the magic #1. I am crushed that somebody else is going to make a Care Bears comic before Rainbow Brute comes out. I thought about it. I thought about, well, how great would it be to actually buy these properties instead of parodying them? What if I could actually buy them? And that's a dream. That's a dream. It's never going to happen. Hatch45XX says, EVS, I'm saving tree frogs at the shop. Tons. Good man. You must live in Florida, I guess. They're everywhere. All right, so somebody's doing Care Bears. Of course, it's IDW. IDW just scoops up all of these IPs and does terrible, terrible comics with them. Jude Terror is being funny right now. He's trying to troll Comicsgate. So he is saying that even the Care Bears is political, and it isn't, but he's being funny about it. In a way, it is. Maybe it is. Look at this artwork. Why is this allowed to happen? Don't bother. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do a Care Bears comic. A Care Bears comic doesn't need to exist if it's going to look like this. Why do you do this? What is this? This isn't good. Oh, they're all wrong. No. They're off model. This is CalArts bullshit. If you're going to do a Care Bears comic, and I was talking to your boy Zach about this. I was just like, look, remember back in the day, Marvel Comics put out their kid line. I think it was called Star Comics, Marvel Star or something like that. And, it was like planetary, and it was, even though it was for kids, and, it was still comparatively drawn with love and respect for the art of cartooning. They were good books. They were quality books, but to our eyes back then, of course, they just didn't look that great because, they were cartoony, and we were reading Secret Wars and stuff. If this had ever seen print at a Marvel comic in the 1980s, we would have said, what in the world is going on? What in the world is going on? This is awful. You don't need to do a Care Bears book if this is going to be the end result. If you're not going to try, don't even do it. Give me the Care Bears. Give me Rainbow Bright. Give me these properties. I will show you. I will show you how to do it. I'm for some reason, because of Rainbow Brute, I'm starting to think about these girls' properties more, and I'm just like, I know that these could be cool. You guys simultaneously talk about how important girls are reading comics, and then you feed them this. How do you expect girls to come in and read comics when this is what you're offering them? This is filth. Anyway, Jude Terror makes a funny point here. He just kind of goes through and he says, oh, Grumpy, you've been working nonstop. Fixed everything on this ship at least twice in the last week. So tired, you've got care blisters. So he is, backbreaking labor under the capitalist system. That's what this is supposed to represent. With Dibble delivering a frank indictment of big business, we were just enjoying the downtime, having fun, and trying to make the most out of a rare day off. I think we've been pretty successful so far. Business bad, grumpy play. All right, so obviously, even Care Bears has gone woke. Care Bears has become communist, according to Jude Terror. In any case, it's a funny article. This is the kind of thing Jude Terror honestly should be running Bleeding Cool, because Bleeding Cool is left wing, but at least he's witty. This is kind of funny. He's talking about environmentalism and melting ice caps because there's something about ice, crystal ice, that the Care Bears are worried about here. This is great. This is fine. What isn't so great is Rich Johnson, who, by the way, has been talking about doing this article for like a month, and finally here it is. So he's late with this article. Now, this is called Kickstop's 37 late crowdfunded comics. 37. This is 37 late crowdfunded comics. And this entire article is about me. This entire article was written in order to take a swipe at me. And some of you might think to yourselves, Ethan, why? Why would you? That's narcissistic. Well, I'll show you why. I'll show you why. Now, what it accidentally does, what it actually ends up doing is suggesting that, when it comes to crowdfunding, liberals and SJWs in the comic book industry had their chance and they blew it. And we inherited it, Comicsgate. We kind of took over, and we're doing great. We're doing much, much better than them. Rich Johnson inadvertently proves how awfully the left has done with crowdfunding by showing 36 crowdfunded comics that have never come out by pros that you probably know, that you probably heard of, that are many, many years late. And you're going to see one campaign that is only 8 months late. 8 months late. Everything else is 5 years late. Mine is 8 months late. So let's look at this. Every now and then on Bleeding Cool, as well as looking at projects appearing on crowdfunding services like Kickstarter, Patreon. Are there crowdfunding things on Patreon, Indiegogo, and more? We look at ones that have faltered, have delayed, have not delivered on what they promised. Now, this in some ways is part and parcel of the experience. It's not like pre-ordering something. It's all about supporting the creation of something. And sometimes creations can go awry. And there is always an element of risk, and fans of certain creators should go in with their eyes open, especially when certain creators have a history of lateness or non-delivery. Still, here are some of the more egregious examples. And you're going to see 36 campaigns that have not delivered in years. In years. This is the main one right now. This is the one that people are talking about. Side 79 says late and gay, Ethan. Late and gay. Is Zoe Quinn in here? I don't know. Let's find out. Brigade Returns by Rob Liefeld. In 2013, comic book writer, artist, publisher, creator of Youngblood, and Major X co-creator of Cable and Deadpool, Rob Liefeld crowdfunded an appeal to revive one of his earliest creator-owned books, Brigade, on Kickstarter. The plan was that he would be able to print a large number of issues, which he would be able to give away for free, as well as those who donated to the appeal getting exclusive merch. But that was 6 years ago. Liefeld has made a number of refunds, including very recently, but some, A, don't want a refund. They just want what they were promised. And B, some haven't had that refund they believe was promised to them. When last heard from, he was promising guest stars and a new cover reveal for May 14th. Then on June 8th, it was uploading shortly saying, book on track to become the single biggest and most important of my career, period. All right, so that still has not come out yet. Rob Liefeld, by the way, is taking a beating on Bleeding Cool. He's kind of doing some interesting stuff lately. This one's crazy. Joe Madureira's Battle Chasers Night War. Joe Madureira, one of the biggest artists of the 1990s. Enormously popular. You know, I mean, like that guy, his Chromium comics, his Chromium issues of X-Men are the ones that I'm kind of copying, frankly. In 2015, as part of an $850,000 plus Kickstarter for the Battle Chasers Night War game from 2015, based on Joe Madureira's comic book Battle Chasers, published by Image Comics, cliffhanger imprint book back in the day, Madureira promised he would draw the unpublished Battle Chasers 10 through 12 for release in December 2016. The game was delayed. The comics even more so. He recently announced he would no longer be drawing all of the pages. So I guess he's getting some help for that. Tony Harris's Round Eyes started in 2010. The oldest project on this page caused some problems by originally being a Kickstarter that would supply people with a book, to be canceled and restarted now with the rewards only supporting the production of the book. I don't understand. It's always good to read the small print before you donate. Oh, in other words, you're not going to, if you back this now, you're not going to get a book. If you back it now, you're not going to get a book. You're just helping it get made. That is weird. I don't really get that. I think people want the book. It's always good to read the small print before you donate. However, 9 years later, the book is not finished and shows no signs of completion. Metamorpho 1 and 2 by Lou Frontier, launched in 2016. Creator has ghosted everyone and has deleted his Facebook page. Yikes. Hold on, let me look at this one. What did he raise? $3,800. See, that's the problem with these. You know, you do a crowdfunder and, you know, you're like, oh, well, I raised $3,800 and I've got to please 174 backers. And you realize that this isn't enough money to do it. And so, you know, you could be embarrassed and refund everything. But a lot of these guys just disappear, frankly. Wow, we're getting a lot of new members. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's go. Let's keep looking. This is the big one. This was an enormous. This was the hobby horse of the great Captain Cummings, who was no longer really doing very much on YouTube after he confronted B. Claymore demanding a refund in person. IRL refund request from Captain Cummings to B. Claymore, one of the best videos I've ever seen. It's only like a minute and a half long. He confronts him on the street and demands $40 from him. from 2015. Told backers previously he wasn't allowed to create new material after the TV rights were bought by NBC. However, when last heard from, as posted by disgruntled backers, this is now scheduled for printing in August. All right, so here's this. $20,794. This, you can't, 100-page hardcover. You can't overpromise with these things. You can't promise a 100-page hardcover, make $20,000 and expect that it's going to work out. I just don't think you can afford it. I don't think it's I don't think it's something you can do. You got to come up with at least 648 hardcover books. You've got to produce the material. 100 pages of material. B. Claymore can't draw. He's a writer. So he's got to hire artists. He's got to hire artists to produce 100 pages of pencil ink lettered, maybe not colored if it's black and white, artwork, and then he's got to send it to print, and then he's got to fulfill it. Do you understand? This isn't going to work. This is like, okay, I didn't make it. Full retreat. Instead, he disappears. Molly Danger, the ongoing series by Jamal Igle. You'll notice a lot of these names: B. Claymore, Jamal Igle, Richard Pace. These are SJW's anti-comic skaters who harass and denigrate comic skaters every single day. They are on their hobby horses, abusing comic skaters, talking about how comic skate's evil, and all this stuff. And you wonder why. I mean, with everything, you wonder what the selfish motive is for what people are saying. Why? Why are you attacking comic skaters? Why are you saying this and that? Why would you, why is it so important to you? And then you see why. There's a lot of projection going on. Molly Danger, Jamal Igle raised $31,520. Never produced the book. Never produced the book. He's busy talking about what the law is on Twitter. He's telling lawyers where they're wrong about the law. That's what he's doing right now, rather than producing Molly Danger, which is a weird book anyway. I shouldn't criticize other people. So Molly Danger, what is this? Is that a pun of some sort? It's not. It's like Kim Possible. Like Kim Possible is extremely clever of a name because it's impossible, but it's Kim Possible. And it suggests that she can do cool stunts. She can do crazy things that normal people would find impossible. Kim Possible. Brilliant name. Molly Danger. These people, I mean, so many of these campaigns, you just look at them and you go, this is bland. Like this is bland. There's no reason for this to exist. This was not carefully thought through. Molly Danger. All right. So Midnight Harvest. Here's another one. Richard Pace, one of the most abusive dickheads on Twitter. Abusive to comic skaters. Cruel. A man harboring many problems. A pinata of insecurities. It's Richard Pace. Midnight Harvest, Sensual Nightmares by Richard Pace was launched in 2013, collecting mostly already drawn pinups and a new 12-page story. He doesn't post a lot of updates and people are left hanging for months, but he does still appear to be working on the project. Does he? Does he? I mean, it's 12, some pinups and a 12-page story. It's been since 2013. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right. Journeyman Anthology. By the way, if you're going to do this, be prepared to make it like, a big priority. The difference between me and all of these people is that I never stopped working, and Cyberfrog is the best thing I've ever done, and it's done, and it's at the printer. We'll get to that in a minute. Let me see. I'm going to look at this anyway. 100 backers, $7,295, and he wants to produce a book with that. The thing about it is, and the thing that you have to take into consideration is you have to mail 100 packages. 100 packages that are going to cost maybe $10 in shipping a piece. It's crazy when you're trying to ship a heavy book or a book of any kind in a way that gets there undamaged. It costs money. It's expensive. So already you're looking at this getting whittled down. Take away taxes, 30% in taxes. After that, you're like, there's nothing left, and this book isn't going to happen. It's just not going to happen. He's going to have to do this at his own expense. These guys end up doing crowdfunds. They fail with their crowdfunds, and then they've got to go find other jobs to do to keep their bills, keep their keep their lights on, and eventually, hopefully, be able to pay for the crowdfund they did. Big crowdfund mistake. That's just sad. Salasso says, fact, SJWs are grifters. Ray says, could you sign my Cyberfrog too? Yeah, sure. Smoke Banshee says, hail John Malin. Is John Malin in the chat? Dynamo says, I just realized Johnson was British. Letting soy limeys into the comic industry was the beginning of its downfall. No. The British have been great for comics. They've been great for comics. Yeah, and it's more taxes than that. Canada, says Manuel. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Yeah, I mean, Cyberfrog taxes were substantial. If you guys knew, you would vomit. You would projectile vomit how much money had to be paid in taxes. Journeyman Anthology #1 by Noel Burns, 2011, was a new comic anthology. Everything's an anthology. Designed to give new creators and artists a chance to work in a professional setting and be seen. It fell apart. Completed stories were posted online, but the project was declared abandoned in 2017. Princess Lucinda graphic novel by Malcolm Harris, 2012, actually did see publication, but it seems the Kickstarter backers didn't get their print copies they pledged for, even as books were sold in stores back in 2013. That's a no-no. I heard about other people doing that too. Like, backers have to come first. These people basically see Kickstarter as a way to raise enough money to pay them to produce books that they're going to sell in the direct market, which is it's just not Comicsgate, and it's not, it's obviously anti-customer. It's not what we're about. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we're getting a lot of members. Welcome, Kyle Ritter. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining. Yeah, if you don't know what's going on, I made it possible to join the channel. There's going to be an exclusive chat once a month for joiners. It is $5 a month, so it's like Patreon, but it's YouTube. It's attached to YouTube. Patreon is not our friends. YouTube kind of is, at least for now. Yeah. Man of Action says you can count on it that these grifters didn't pay their taxes. Count on it. Yeah. All right, let's keep looking. Paul Dini. Paul Dini's Boo and Hiss. Paul, you guys know who Paul Dini is? That's one of the writers of, one of the creators of Lost. Launched in 2017, late by everyone, is being kept up to date with updates on the process, though some are annoyed that there's no deliverables. Lackluster, hardcover graphic novel by Eric Adams, launched in 2015, a dark satire about an albino man using vandalism. I want to see how much Paul Dini raised. Hold on a second. He only raised less than $17,000 for his little Tom and Jerry book here. It actually looks like fun, but man, there's something about Kickstarter campaigns. They look really, really bland. I don't know what they all look like. I don't know. They look boring. I really like Indiegogo's layouts better. Peppermint Oil Capsule says, Uncle E, on your Ollie Jones video, I wrote a little bit about what I'm guessing happened regarding that Spider-Man headstone. Bless you for that video. Okay, I'll read it, and thank you for writing to me. I hope you offer me some hope for that, That hit me so hard. Like, I don't know. It got under my skin quite a bit. That's how you do it. If you want to get under my skin, you show me kids being hurt. And that's what does it. All right, lackluster hardcover graphic novel by Eric Adams. All right, seems past now. All seems past. 4 days were a great return to productivity. I've completed nearly every remaining design detail on my to-do list, and it looks likely I will finish this week. With as crappy as 2017 ended, I'm eager to start 2018 off with a big win. No one got their books. Some people got a mug, though. The Black Mill comic book issue 0, Paul DeFilippio, launched in 2016. Let's see, just a small progress. There's an April update. Small progress report to let you know that Orion Zangara is drawing his heart out for the project, and reports show good progress. See the tiniest sample below and stay tuned. Body Bags. Oh, Jason Pearson, 2015. Body Bags was a great book, man. That was a book out of the 90s. It was a great big kind of Jason style killer, like big, bulky kind of Jason, Mike Myers style killer, and then a little cheerleader daughter, and they went around killing people. Panboy says, Hail Caesar. Thanks, Panboy. Appreciate it. Earlier this year, he said, it will come out, but I'm doing 4 miniseries in a row. Don't Die Till I Kill You is the first. After Vicious, maybe I'll take a break and say hello to y'all. Until then, that means no cons, no book signings, no appearances for me. Just straight back to doing my best comic work. I'm sorry for the delay, but yours and everyone's patience will pay off in the end because Body Bags will have a series finale. There will be an end to Mac and Panda. That's good. Unhappy White Girls, comic book novella about Christian Baranek, launched in 2011. Private, updated in 2014. Christian's looking for a colorist. What did they raise on this? Let's see, $2,171. Like, you know, that's not going to happen. Mandy #1 by Sean Surface, launched in 2015, promising to join. By the way, these are all social justice warrior comics. A voyage of discovery and mystery during a special year of a very special girl's life. $2,822. This is not going to happen. No wonder these people think crowdfunds are a grift. No wonder these people sit there and go on and on and on at comic skaters calling us grifters. No wonder they're projecting all of this stuff. All of this stuff was a quick way to earn a little bit of money. They don't have shame. It's impossible to shame these people. None of these people are ashamed. Madam Satan launched in 2015. You blame financial issues? You had the money. You were given the money. 2013, another comic didn't come out. And then they have here it is, the unmitigated balls. This is the entire purpose of this article was for Rich Johnson, who I've been criticizing in my YouTube channel recently, to comment on Cyberfrog Blood Honey. Cyberfrog Blood Honey by Ethan Van Sciver was launched this time last year for publication by the end of last year. It didn't. Ethan citing the expanding size of the project for delay. This time last month, he said it was going to print. It's at the goddamn printer, Richard. It's at the printer. Let me show you. Do you guys want to see? It's like at some point, I understand we're dealing with liars who think everybody lies. But unfortunately, that is a quality that SJWs pretty much have on their own. Here is the file to Cyberfrog Blood Honey. You're looking at the digital file of the chromium cover. This is what it's going to look like. This is the front of it right here. Oh, actually, no, this isn't the finalized version. This isn't the finalized version. This is an earlier version. Sorry about that, because I put this logo up in this corner. I had them put the logo up in this corner here. But this is the back of the cover. So the back of the cover is going to be silver. It's just going to be all chrome with this big logo, with my all caps logo on the back. This is the front. Ethan Van Sciver, Kyle Ritter. Here is the Salamandroid version. This is the rare version. I think we only sold about 1,000 of these. So only a few people are getting this from the second campaign, which was largely a charity campaign for cancerous dicks like SJWs who actually wished dick cancer on comic skaters. These same people who can't fulfill their own crowd funds. Hold on a second. Am I doing this right? Yeah. These same people who cannot fulfill their own crowd funds. This is their projection. They're calling people. They're wishing they got dick cancer. In the meantime, we're selling comic books and we're raising money for charity to actually take care of men's cancer issues, men with cancer. This is the current cover that's available right now. This is what it's going to look like. Yes, they did it correctly, but I don't see the logo here. So this is, I actually told them to put the Blood Honey behind his head here and then to lift this logo up. And this looks better to me. This looks much better to me. This is going to be, this is the fist bump cover here. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. This right here is the cover to Cyberfrog 1998. But what's going to happen is I'm going to blow up and look, I got to move this over. I'm not doing this one yet, but it's ready to go. This is going to be 1998 blown up into full comic book size. So you'll be able to get that. And I think I'm going to make it a perk for the next campaign. So it's all ready to go. It's all ready to go. All right, over here. Here is the entirety of Cyberfrog Blood Honey. Here it is. Here is, by the way, let me blow this up a little bit. If I can. Can I do it? Is there a plus or do I just hit control? Yeah, it's working good. This book is dedicated to Andrea, Hunter, Kaylee, and Ava, and to each and every fan who helped Cyberfrog to wake up again. And that's you guys. Yeah, I know. I know you're seeing dozens of windows. Sorry about that. I wanted to blow this up. Published by All Caps Comics, everyone. All Caps Comics. All Caps Comics presents. This is my publisher. This is my publishing imprint. So everything that you guys see is going to have the All Caps Comics logo on it. It took a while to set it up. Okay, it took a little while to set all this up, to build an infrastructure for myself that could actually publish comics, as many as I can draw. And I don't draw fast. I draw slow. I don't want to do too many comics. I want to do one big comic per year, with the exception of this year, where I'm going to do Rainbow Brute, which is going to be kind of a shorter comic book. And then I'm going to do Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet, which I'm not sure how big that's going to be yet. I'm not sure. I'm going to promise 48 pages. And if it gets bigger, it gets bigger. But, it's like I like to kind of, when it comes to the length of the project, I'll under-promise. And I know I've under-promised with the length of Cyberfrog Blood Honey, over-delivered on that. But I know the wait was a long time, so I'm sorry about that. Of course I am. This is the title page, and we go down here. It is all finished. This is the first chapter. I'm going to go through this quickly so that I'm not spoiling anything. Okay, a lot of people do not want spoiler alerts. This is the completed book. This is it. Here it is. It's at the printer right now. This is a file that was prepared for the printer. It's at the printer. It's taken a little while because they have to build 2 different covers on this thing. They've got to build a chromium cover. Here's part 2. Bum, bum, bum. Part 2. Part 2. You guys haven't read part 2. Catch up. Catch up. There it is. It's part 2. Scrolling through. Catch up. Okay. Part 2. I'm going too fast. It's not letting me catch up. This is my favorite part. I cannot stay below and witness more human suffering. Vespis parasite, you've made a terrible mistake coming here. Pirdani has planted the seeds of your destruction on this sphere. Now, show your swarm how to burn and die. I cannot fight them all. I'm not equipped. I shouldn't have. I just couldn't bear. Human, do not look back. Run. Ah. All right. That didn't go well for her. On and on and on and on. And we go on and on. Fast, fast, fast. Catch up, catch up, catch up. Completed comic. Now, bonus materials. Here's all the bonus materials, as you can see, ready to go to print. Kyle's pinups are in it. Okay, should I stop now? All right. I'm sorry. This infuriates me. It absolutely infuriates me because it's like I am not you guys, SJWs. I'll close all tabs. I'm not you guys. Okay, I didn't take these people's money and I didn't run. I took these people's money and I spent a year doing the best comic book that I could possibly do. I created the best comic I could, and it's going to be up to you guys to decide if you, yeah, it's safe now. If you guys want to come back, spoilers are gone. Yeah, everything's closed, but I wanted to show you. Okay. Jude Vanillion says, you should have stopped before you started. Thank you. Thank you. I'll do a live reading. Yeah, I took your money and bought a lot of pies. I took your money. I built a beautiful comic book. I built a platform upon which many more comics can come. A platform upon which special projects and merchandise will be forthcoming. And I think you're going to like the books. I do. It's at the printer. What can I tell you? People are like, do you have an update? No, I don't. I don't have an update. Now, the printer is local. I'm looking forward to, they're in Pennsylvania. I'm looking forward to an opportunity to go over there, bring my camera, and show you guys the book in production. But I'm told that time is not yet. So it's frustrating watching people go, it's not coming. Cyberfrog's not coming out when it's coming out. Okay, it's indeed kind of frustrating. Jennifer H says, "Oh yes." Queen Bee says, "So awesomely perfect. Can't wait to get it in my hands." Thank you, Queen Bee, for your support. And this is, of course, Dynamo says, "We trust you." Yeah, but it is a matter of trust because so many people have been let down. Crowdfunding is important to me. It is the foundation of my future in comics. It's important. I don't want to go back and do mainstream stuff for, a paycheck anymore. I don't want to. I want to be able to crowdfund everything that I do. I want to be able to offer to you guys, accept pre-orders, and be able to produce this work. Now, this first work was so substantial. This crowdfund was so great that it caught everyone's attention, and it made all kinds of opportunities open to me and anyone who I want to work with at All Caps Comics. A lot of opportunities are going to be available. But of course, there will be people who are going to take every opportunity to try to kind of create doubt. And again, it is all projection. So let me just go back to this and let's look again here. This is not spoilers. We're back at the Bleeding Cool. We're back at the Bleeding Cool article. So do you understand? This is the only book. This book was promised in November of 2018, back before I had any idea what it was going to take to do this monumental task that I kind of set about to do. I just thought it's like a DC book. I'll just create a quick DC book about it. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was way more intensely complicated. And every time I thought I was at the finish line, there was something new that had to happen. There was some new problem. There was something else. And this book there might be panels that aren't, that other people are going to criticize, but I'm not criticizing them. I'm happy, 100% happy with every single panel in this book. With anything that I did at DC, there would be pages that I cheated on. There were panels that I'd look at and cringe. Every panel in this book is perfect for my eyes. And thank you for that. That is what is so great about crowdfunding. Thank you for that opportunity. That's all I wanted from you guys. All I wanted from you guys was the chance to be able to do my comic. I just wanted to be able to do the comic that I wanted to do, not the comic that I was rushed to do, not the comic that I had to do to pay the bills. I wanted to do the comic that I wanted to do. It wasn't a matter of just receiving some money, excreting a comic book in your faces that you would look at and go, "This is pretty good, I guess," and then over your shoulder. It was an opportunity for me to receive enough money to be able to do the comic book that I always wanted to do, and then maybe more past that, hopefully. And you guys gave that opportunity to me, and I'll never, ever, ever stop thanking you for it. So I'm happy with this comic book. Wrecked Planet is going to be great. I'm already 5 pages into Wrecked Planet. It's pretty exciting. Toots Baker says the next one will probably arrive faster. Most definitely, the next one is going to arrive faster. It was a weird year. I mean, last year was weird. Last year was just a weird year with Comicsgate. I know it's hard to look back on now because I think things have really changed for the better. But last year was a weird year. A lot of professionals finding themselves out of work. We came together and created a movement, or a reaction to a movement. I think the professionals like myself, Doug TenNapel, Mitch Breitweiser, Mike S. Miller, John Malin, Brett R. Smith, we came together as a reaction to a movement. Yeah, we agree. We agree with the people who are saying this stuff. And chastened. I think we can adjust our own behavior and actually start creating comic books that will fulfill this need. You guys are saying you want this from comics. Okay, we can do that. We can produce that for you. The question is how, because none of us have ever done it before. None of us have ever produced our own comic books outside of the system of Marvel and DC, in which they just take your stuff and they just do it all for you. How do we get distribution if we're not going to be using the direct market? How do we do that? There's a lot of just fumbling around about that. People wondered about me taking meetings with Mitch Breitweiser and Betty Breitweiser last summer, a year ago at this point. I was going back and forth from here to Arkansas, taking meetings with magazine distributors. They had an idea that maybe, you know, we'd all join forces and, you know, get our comic books in Walmart and Target and all these regular places, all these different outlets through, you know, the regular magazine market. And after hearing it, I decided that wasn't the best thing for me. That's not what I wanted to do. So I backed out of that. But this is all research and development. Everything's R&D, and it just took a long time to get us to where we are. At least for me. But I'm happy. I'm happy about what this book is. I'm impatient as hell. I'm tapping my foot with you. I want to copy the book for me. I'm waiting for me. I want a copy. The other thing that'll make me cry beyond a kid that gets his doesn't get to have Spider-Man on his tombstone is me holding Cyberfrog Blood Honey in my hands. Toothbaker says, you're a comic distributor virgin. Yeah, I don't know how to do this. But we're figuring it out. I mean, it's just all about zero pipeline. That idea of mass fulfillment from our hands straight to yours, not through a distributor, not through Diamond to a retailer establishment where you might find it. It's just straight from us to you, and we can improve on that over time. But that's a new concept for the most part. Accipiter Sizer says 19,000s support EVS on the way. 19Ks support EVS on the way. Hooah. 19K support on the way. I'm not sure I know what that means, but it sounds good. Doc S says, hell, EVS, I can make you cry. I'll just yank that whistling nose hair. All right. So in any case, that's what this is. I mean, you know, I'm with you guys every single day. Every single day. I don't miss a day talking to you. I'm not, you know, I'm not these people. To put me in with these people, to suggest that I belong on a list with these people is disgusting. These people stole other people's money and ran away with it, never producing the product that they were promised. They promised people. And no wonder people have doubts. And no wonder SJWs want to exploit those doubts against comic skaters. No wonder. A few of these people reached out to me and I never responded. I'm glad I didn't now. Space Goat. White Wolf says, Uncle E, will there be a complete Cyberfrog trade paperback? Yes, because we found a lot of the files. We found a lot of the original files to the Harris Comics Cyberfrog stuff. So it's possible. It's possible that, well, no, it's definite. We're definitely going to do it. But it's possible that the book will be even better, you know, because of this. So as you can see, as you look at all these people, all these incredibly dishonest people, people who took other people's money, ran away with it. Space Goat, this is Sean Burry, who has been a thorn in your boy Zach's side for most of his career in comics. Kickstarter for an Evil Dead 2 comic omnibus, launched in 2017. Hasn't shipped or updated in a while. How did they do? They raised $35,000 for this. This isn't happening. This is never coming out. These people are quite used to saying, with the apparent failure of the equity crowdfunding campaign, we have to regroup, blah, blah, blah. It's not coming out. However, it is on sale on Amazon. So if you backed it, you're screwed, but you can get it on Amazon. You guys are going to get yours first from me. It's on its way. Meanwhile, in the comments down here, for example, let's see. Cyberfrog at this point is a grift. This guy is after Comicsgate. He lives in the Bleeding Cool comments section to bash Comicsgate, and he does it obsessively. Like a bunch of lunatics, at Bleeding Cool just do nothing but run down Comicsgate, and it's all lies. Cyberfrog at this point is a grift. If it is actually released, I'll be surprised. Prepare for a surprise, asshole. And he's done multiple Indiegogos with Alpha. It's all for the same project, dude. Kudos to Vito for refunding. Something about Liefeld. All right. Cyberfrog isn't a grift. According to EVS a few days ago, the book is finished and it's at the printer. He'll mail them in a week or two. Might be longer. I got to sign them all. but I'm going to keep you guys updated. You'll see them. By the way, his book is only 8 months late and not years, as we see with other books on the list. Oh, this was just 9 minutes ago. We've got people here in the chat who are actually responding to these idiots. At least Richard Meyer's crowdfunded Jawbreakers came out, and it was awesome. Let's see. Is there any more about me? Oh, yeah, look, I think you forgot to mention that Cyberfrog had more than one campaign. I think they've had like 8-ish. They've had like 8 campaigns. Have I had 8 campaigns for Cyberfrog? And the book still isn't even finished. Is that right? For a single issue comic. That is 3 lies in a row. There were 3 campaigns for the same book. The book is finished, and it wasn't a single issue comic. It's actually a 60-page comic and an 18-page ashcan. That's 4 issues worth of work. I actually got an update. The book is at the printer and will be mailed out in a week or 2. He's too busy making hate-filled YouTube videos. I think my videos are, they're love. You know? I think they're love-filled. All right, so all of this was just, I don't know. Am I wrong? Do you think I'm right about that? You think this was just a swipe at me? I think it was. Unhinged Crank says, this is awful, but in contrast, every Comicsgate book I backed, I received. Today, I pulled Asami out of the mailbox. Nice. Appreciate it. Wow, look at all the green names, by the way. These people who you're seeing who have green names have joined the channel. I'm offering channel memberships now. Just like Geeks and Gamers, you can join the channel. It's, you know, I think it's $5 a year. No, $5 a month. $5 a year, $5 a month, and you we're gonna have little bonuses. We're gonna have a private monthly powwow that you will be invited to. It's pretty cool. Perth Comics says just another Johnson jab. Well, I'll have a couple more aimed at him too, and that's the way it goes. Oh, that bothers me. I don't know. Don't associate me with Jamal Igle. Don't put me in the same list as Jamal Igle or Richard Pace or B. Clay Moore. Don't do that. Rajin Boo says, haters going to hate. Once the product reaches the backers, they will have nothing to complain about. New members here. New member Edgar Cruz. New member Cyrus Nightshade. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for joining the channel. Let me back up and see if I missed any super chats. I know I missed a bunch of them. I'll go back and get them. Steps in Gold says, a missed super chat still feels better than giving Disney my money. White Wolf says, Uncle E. Okay, I got that one. JV, thanks for $1. I appreciate that. I'll go back and I'll read all the other. Should I do that? Maybe I'll take a break right now and I'll just read the super chats and get caught up, and then we'll go on to the next hit piece. Oh, it's fun being me. I do my best. I try to make people happy, but I don't always succeed. All right, let me look here. And wow, thank you. Look at all the memberships. I'll read all these. I'll read all the memberships out, okay? Let's see. Saniko says, EVS, you need to start a new rap group, BWA, Boomers with Attitude. 1986 MPV says they should just put that tombstone up anyway. Dare Disney to try to take it down. I agree, but the cemetery is the one who is, they're saying no. You know, you can't do that here. Doocy the Snowman is a new member. I think he's the first member. Rodin says, hey, EVS, saw your post about membership to view streams. Really hope you don't do that since I rarely get to see your streams live. Yeah, Rodin, I changed my mind about it. Okay, so we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it a different way. Streams are everything's going to stay the same. I'm just going to create more exclusive content for people who are members. $5 a month, you will get to be a part of the exclusive content. You're going to get your own little badge if you want, and all that stuff. Jeff Smith's a new member. Downshift, Black Wolf Senpai, Hatch45SX. Thank you so much. Seahawk Scott says Disney's decision was shameful and unconscionable. Keep it up, Disney. The wheel's coming around. Thanks for $20. SR2 Joker, Tikis, Saniko, Stanley, Matt Nessheim, Angela Richter, Soyberfrog, Heretic Honker, Jackie Myers, Hugh Jass, Chimera Comics, Chief of Comics COC, Larry Romano, Jay Sim, Rainbolt, Figs Matter with your boy Cecil, Skeetnit, 1986 MPV, Rooster Roy Reviews, Gravity Cat is not amused SC, Fatalist Draken 83, Jeg, all new members. Thank you so much. Hatch 45 SX says, EVS, I'm saving tree frogs at the shop, tons. And he says he's from New Jersey. Tree frogs. And yeah, we have gray tree frogs. We have gray tree frogs here in Jersey. They're rare. They're hard to find. Simon Oliver, a new member. Thank you. Hatch 45 SX says, I'm in Burlington, New Jersey. They're all over this year. You live very close to me. You know, I used to work at the Burlington Center, if you remember that. I think they're tearing that down now. Jason Green, DJ Kong, Sadie Bella, Kyle Ritter. Hello, Kyle. Jack Straw, Trange Fru. All new members, thank you. Peppermint Oil Capsule says, Uncle E, on your Ollie Jones video, I wrote a little bit about what I'm guessing happened regarding the Spider-Man headstone. Bless you for that video. Clay Mist, Ryan Magus, thanks for being new members. Panboy says, Hail Caesar, thank you. Missy Ann, Kevin Splady, Jay Potts, Standing on a Comet, P Wacky T76, new members, thank you guys. Tim Riggs says, SJWs are masters of projection. Whatever they accuse others of, they're engaging in themselves. That's exactly right. Violent Science is a new member. Thank you. Steps in Gold, thanks for £5. Hey, how's the new house going? It's going good. I mean, I'm comfortable here. I'm very happy here. I take a little break and float around in the pool, and it is, I can't believe it. I feel like I'm on vacation all the time, and the kids love it here. Great place for them to grow up. Hope all is well. I'm looking forward to Cyberfrog. Thank you, Steps in Gold. Ballroom Photographer says, is the format for print TIFF or JPEG? I honestly don't know. I would think it's TIFF, not JPEG. JPEGs are small. I send TIFF files over to Kyle to be colored. I think they're better. And that's just the way I've been trained to do it. But you're talking to a complete dummy about stuff like that, which is why I hire people to do it for me. Comic Skater Fan 34 says, who is the colorist for the interior art on the Cyberfrog Vampirella variant? I don't know. I think it's an ink wash. Interior art. No, it's an ink wash. It's black and white. And you should know that I am not the artist on Cyberfrog Vampirella. I'm just the cover artist. The interior book is a copy of Vampirella versus the Reanimator #1. And I'm going to do 2, 3, and 4 as well. So if you buy the first one, you're going to be able to read the whole series. Al M, thanks for $2. Gimp Rider, new member, thank you. Chelsea Lord Gotham says, we love you, Ethan. There's hope for true comics. Again, thanks to your passion and respect for real comic book fans. David H, thank you, new member. JH, thanks. JV, thanks for $1. Let's see, read all these. Cyrus Nightshade, Edgar Cruz, Vilned. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Vilned. Thank you for joining the channel. Crazy Manor 2003. If you work 8 hours a day, you have to sign 6 books a minute to do 20,000 in 7 days. No pie eating breaks, fat boy. That's possible. You work 8 hours a day. That's a normal shift that's a short day. 6 books a minute. Yeah, I think I can do it in a week. Infernal Iris said, hey, Uncle Ethan, I sent you a Twitter DM about the fan mail I sent you. Should have been delivered June 25th. Well, I haven't been to the post office to open my box since then, so I got to go back there, and I'll find it, Infernal Iris. And thank you for sending me mail. I hope it's not something that's spoilable. James Trammell, a new member, thank you. White Wolf says, EVS, are you going to have Razor on to discuss Wade? Why would I do that? Like, what does Razor have on Wade? I'm interested in talking about Mark Wade, absolutely. Starcast Network, Jay Hamilton, Low Res Boy, James Hancock, Brian last name. Thank you for joining and becoming new members. Jack Straw, $5. Thank you. He said he had to do this now because he knew Cyberfrog was going to print. It's now or never. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you guys, they have to get their kicks in now. And they have to create doubt now. I gotta say, it's hard to keep a sense of humor about it. You know, I worked really hard on this book, and there's a lot of just bitterness that goes along, you know, from other people about it that makes it a little less fun. It's still fun, but I do have to just kind of shut people out at some point so I can focus on my work and stop letting the negativity in. Dragon of the Blackpool, Boag, Tequila Mockingbird, Comic Art Master. Oh, thank you for joining the channel. Comic Art Master, Caesar, these weirdos always do this when the book is about to start hitting mailboxes. Hail War Campaign, Hail Caesar, support Super Harem. Yeah, support Super Harem. I like that Wenger guy. Matt Wenger is he's got a good channel. He's very funny. John Chidester, Septinov, 7 of 9. Hey, hello. Bearded Droog, Mr. Lizard, Manga Man, Ron Crossman, Chesley Lord Gotham, Cubstodon, Wonder Girl 60s, Hank Solo, SSJ, Future Gohan 62093, and Text Tank. Thank you for joining the channel. Appreciate all of you guys. SJW or Comic Skater Fan 34 said, SJW Blackie Shepherd did your colors. It uses red and yellow. I didn't think you'd even read the SJW. I didn't think you even read the SJW Vampirella comic you sold us. Thanks for confirming. I did read it. I did read it. I did read it. It was Vampirella fighting a werewolf and in the cemetery. And it was the Reanimator raising the dead. And that was the first issue of the comic. I realized that there's a contingent of anti-comic skaters or people who are on the fringes of comic skate who are criticizing me for actually, putting a cover on a comic book that has professionals inside that are SJWs. Hey, what do you think the comic book industry is right now? Find me a comic book that is not SJW at this point, that's in the mainstream. Do you want to take back the mainstream? Do you want to put your foot in there or not? It's your choice. Some of you, it's like, this is the thing. Yeah, this person, this letterer is an SJW, a famous comic book SJW. I got it. I understand that. They're everywhere. That's why we need to be there too. We need to actually invade their spaces. We need to invade their homes. We need to convert them to comic skate. I don't know, and throw their leaders in jail. The world is full of SJWs. The comic book industry is too. That's no reason for us to not be there. We need to be there more than ever. Okay. White Wolf says, Razor says Wade started SJW Marvel with Daredevil. I'd like to hear that. I think Gail Simone started it with Women in Refrigerators. Knox 9 and Pine Barrens Legend. Thanks for becoming members. Hatch 450SX says, please support Super Harem. Really want color. Yeah. Super Harem is good. I got to do a Comic Skate live stream and promote some of these other books. And Dino Palesio says, why is EVS staring at me? You're pretty. I don't know. What can I tell you? All right. So, yeah, how to convert an SJW to Comic Skate, show them the path to money. You would think so, but, they don't listen. They're not listening to us. All right, so let's look at this other hit piece. This one makes me extra sad, but I understand it. Let's go. We've got some conflict going on right now in Comic Skate as usual. This involves it involves a lot of fighting on Twitter. Now, I have difficulty with this, and I'll talk to you guys frankly about it. We're going to go over the video that was made and that was attached to this. The creative person who made the video. I actually like this guy. I watched this video and I felt for him. It's like I kind of was like, oh, I know. It hurts. It sucks when you don't succeed. It really, really sucks. But it is. I mean, this is the thing. All right, so we've got a lot of people squabbling on Twitter about War Campaign. Now, War Campaign are a group of fans. I think these guys, look, War Campaign's made up of about 15 or 20 people. Some of them I love dearly. Others of them I'm not quite so sure about. I think I've seen their behavior a little bit on Twitter. Sometimes I think you guys go too far, okay? And other times I think you're really funny and having a good time and you make Comic Skate a little bit more fun. Worst part is so many of these people are part of Comic Skate and the War Campaign. When people like that are part of any group and their actions are defended, you know that it is headed for a fall. This is very strange to me. War Campaign will do more damage to Comic Skate than the Dark Roast could ever do. Mark my words. That their toxic behavior has been championed by select pros in the community is very frustrating. It's one of the reasons I know Comic Skate means two completely different things to pros and customers. I'd like to parse that, but let's just move forward a little bit. Despite being formed in opposition to perceived left-wing identity-based tactics of mainstream comics, The online community defined by the Twitter hashtag Comicsgate is apparently becoming consumed by those very same tactics. Doxing, calls for deplatforming, groupthink, victimhood, and a lack of accountability. Slippery labels, based policy, and continually using the nebulousness of a group to characterize it in a positive fashion, despite the way the group acts or specifically how certain factions within the group is acting. Okay. I am intrigued. Here's Doug TeNapel. War campaign prolongs and escalates another stupid internal Comicsgate war. Are you sick of this? I am. I can't have my comics business associated with groups that attack backers and creators. I'm out of CG, and I'm moving on to focus on what my backers are all about. Great comics and no drama. Well, okay. Over time, many high-profile creators have left the group, causing it to gradually erode down to those core creators who used the hashtag to begin with, Ethan Van Sciver and Richard C. Meyer. Along with those they appear to favor. If this continues, I predict that in a year to 18 months, the group may be seen as simply friends of EVS. And I also would expect the hashtag to no longer serve a useful purpose. You may disagree, but allow me to explain why I think this is the trajectory in the video below. All right. Before we get into the video, I want to point something out here. Comicsgate is technically a group of people. It is a group of people who believe in the ideas of Comicsgate. Comicsgate itself is just an idea. Comicsgate is an idea that, you know, if you Comicsgate's an idea from the consumer standpoint that the mainstream of the comic book industry was taken over by social justice warriors who were imposing their views, their radical left-wing views, in the comic books that they were producing, and there was no escape. There was no escape. They'd invaded the comic book industry, and they were using these mainstream comic books and characters that everyone loves to espouse leftism, and that was intolerable to people. And when they complained, they were called names on social media. Okay, so that's where Comicsgate came from the consumer point of view. The professional point of view is just, hey, let's do the opposite of that. So let's do the opposite. Let's create books that are not political, that are not partisan, and let's try to treat the customer with respect. Now, that's an idea. That's just a belief system. There's no group, even though there's a group. Comicsgate isn't a group, but there are Comicsgaters, and we kind of hang out together. Cliques form, groups of friends. I know it's a confusing subject, but Comicsgate's an important thing. The ideas behind Comicsgate must survive. It has to serve a useful purpose. It's important. If you find comic books to be important, if the long-term survival of this art form, if this medium, and of this industry are important to you, Comicsgate has to serve a useful purpose, and it can't just be about who's friends with who, and it also can't be about fights on Twitter. It can't be about fights on Twitter. We can't be fighting with each other on Twitter over purity testing and all of these things. We can't exclude people who want to purchase the comics, who want to be a part of it, who feel close to it. These people should not be subject to purity testing. They should not be subject to abuse in any way. They should be allowed to differ in certain ways, but they should be allowed to kind of arrive at the same basic conclusion that this is what Comicsgate's all about. Now, somehow this is causing some creators, Doug TeNapel, for example, who used the hashtag Comicsgate at one point to decide that because of the drama, because he's got different ideas about what Comicsgate should mean for him, that he no longer wants to use the Comicsgate hashtag, and that's a shame. That is a shame. But a difference of opinion like that shouldn't be allowed to fester and grow and cause the end or the victory of the SJW mainstream. And I don't believe that it is, and I don't believe that it can. I don't think it's possible. Comicsgate isn't about individuals. It's just about an idea. Comicsgate should not be about hurt feelings on the internet. It shouldn't be about fighting. It shouldn't be about calls for deplatforming, except in a couple of cases. I would like to see people whose jobs are full-time harassment on the internet. Full-time harassment, political harassment. They need to go. I would like to see those people deplatform. They do nothing but cause misery. Groupthink, nah. Victimhood, no, definitely not. A lack of accountability, we'll see what that's about. Slippery labels, none of this is not SJW. SJWs hate labels. They don't want to be labeled. They don't want to be identified. Identity-based policy and continually using the nebulousness of a group to characterize in a positive fashion, despite the way the group acts. All right. Well, let's see. So this is this guy right here is what's his name? Preston Poulter. He had a book out. He goes by Pocket Jacks Comics on Twitter. He had 2 books out. One of them I thought was okay, but one of them I thought was really good. It was called Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. And I really liked it. It looked like Mark Bagley drew it. And I'm a fan of Mark Bagley. The art looked professional to me. So I was happy about it. But he asked for my support and help during a time when I was not doing Comicsgate Live. I was busy. I was, finishing up Cyberfrog. I was doing a bunch of other things. And, I was doing videos that were mostly about Star Wars. I come and go when it comes to Comicsgate Live. Sometimes it's time to do it, but you can't do it all the time. In any case, I think his campaign failed. And I think in a way, he feels like I'm responsible for that. And other factors as well. So I'm going to put the speakers on. I'm going to listen to this, and I'm just going to talk it through with the video. I actually asked if he wanted to come on, and I don't think he answered me, which is too bad. All right, so let's have a look at this. And, we can suss this out. We can work it out. We'll figure it out.
To hear with Pocket Jacks Comics. If you're a fan of role-playing games as I am, then you would understand that NPC is a character that's controlled by the GM. So if you're there around the kitchen table and you're kicking in the door or whatever, and you find a monster, or you go back to...
I already like this guy. I don't know what it is. I like this guy. He reminds me of like a Peter Jackson character that resurrects the dead and doesn't know what to do. I don't know why. I like his face. See, this is the thing. I would love to have this guy on my show. I like everything that he says. I like the way he says it. I just didn't have time for him. I didn't, I wasn't doing promotion for other people's books.
Town, and there's a merchant, like the GM is controlling them, and they haven't put a lot of time into developing the character or giving a lot of responses. So they just tend to get very canned responses. And then, I don't know, like 6-8 months ago, like people began to characterize, maybe a year ago, people began to characterize typically left-wing oriented people as NPCs because they seem to only offer a set number of very limited responses to most topics. Now, we could argue that maybe the right suffers from the same thing, and now we've arrived at Comicsgate. So yes, the principles of conformity do cut both ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true. Conformity happens when you create kind of a belief system, and there can be differences within that belief system. But it's like if you're Catholic, you've conformed. You need to conform to those viewpoints. If you want to call yourself Comicsgate, you kind of, there's a little bit of conformity that goes along with that. It's like, yeah, this is what Comicsgate kind of means. And if you're not, like, if you're wilding and you're off in like left field, and I don't know, sometimes a little bit of conformity is a good thing, or at least it's necessary. I don't think that's necessarily, if anything, I don't think that's so much a left-wing thing. I think it's right-wing is kind of like that too, at least traditionally.
One thing that Comicsgate and the right would criticize about their left-wing colleagues would be that they tend to attempt to kind of mob and deplatform and silence their critics, which we're seeing in Comicsgate. We are seeing, a lot of aggressive kind of mobbing in Twitter, as well as, taking pride in like mass reporting people in order to get them booted from the platform.
It's true. I agree with you. I'm seeing it happen. I'm seeing people mobbing each other. I'm seeing a lot of fighting over stuff that just doesn't matter. who's being real, who's not being real, who's real Comicsgate, who's not real Comicsgate, you know, who's a phony. At the center of this is a desire to. I think people just want to succeed in comics for the most part. I think people want. They want the attention. They want the platform. They want to be able to do well at what they're doing. And this is spun out into something that's not healthy. It's not good. But I'm definitely seeing it. I'm seeing it on both sides. I'm seeing it on all sides. I'm seeing a bunch of new little groups of gangs associated with Comicsgate who are misbehaving. And by the way, I see it on my Twitter feed. These guys all come after me as well. What do I do? All right.
The very thing that they originally sought to oppose.
Yep.
In addition, over the weekend, someone reported, someone said on Twitter, oh yeah, an artist who worked for comics, for Pocket Jacks Comics, once told me that this other person was a Nazi and therefore you shouldn't support Pocket Jacks Comics.
All right. This is something that Comicsgate's sensitive towards, and this is a delicate issue. Nobody within Comicsgate wants to get labeled a Nazi. Nobody within Comicsgate wants to be a part of, a hate group. And this is something that we've surmounted, I think, at this point. We've gotten past SJWs calling us Nazis, calling us a hate group. We've proven that we're not. And the last thing anybody wants to do at this point is go backwards. The last thing that anybody within Comicsgate wants to do at this point is go backwards and find themselves accidentally associated with somebody who said the 14 words, who's a white supremacist or anything like that. People are sensitive about this. They're sensitive about it. They don't want to be a part of it. They don't want to be forced to associate with people who have absolutely heinous views. So it's tricky. You say, somebody spreads accusations that someone else is a Nazi. That's terrifying because it happened to me. I'm not a Nazi. I'm not a white supremacist at all. So I can see how somebody could be slimed with false accusations. But then again, my God, we've seen this actually happen within Comicsgate, and we've had to disavow it. We've seen these people. I never met a white supremacist before. I've never met one. And then, halfway through Comicsgate, I started to meet them. They started to come out and say hello to me. I'm not a fan of that. And I don't think our mainstream audience of normies that just wants to buy comic books is a fan of that either. I don't think they want to be associated with that. So it's a delicate subject. Who is this guy? I mean, is he? And that's an issue. That's an issue for people. It's an issue for people. At the same time, you don't want this to become a witch hunt. You don't want people to get hurt who are 100% innocent. Rumor mongering sucks. I don't know. I don't really know what to do about it. I don't know who you're referring to, and I don't know who this person is.
Just the allegation. That was all they offered.
Yeah.
No proof. By the way, an allegation of apparently private communication between two people. And on this basis, various Comicsgaters just freaked out, and people pulled their pledge from White Lotus issue 3 on Indiegogo, which was unable to meet its $500 goal.
Okay. All right. So if you're following this, he had a book called White Lily #3. Look at his face. He's angry. He had a tiny little goal. His goal was $500. Don't do that. Don't do the $500 goal. You know it's going to cost more than that. And he wasn't able to meet $500. And he says it's because people pulled their pledges because there was some witch hunting and rumor mongering that some of the people within his campaign, were Nazis. All right. So this is, again, it's a delicate thing. People do not want to associate with those people within Comicsgate. We consider ourselves to be a mainstream centrist movement. We're not a radical right movement at all. And you can be radical right and be a part of Comicsgate, but we don't want to. It shouldn't be a part of what you're doing. We don't want to know. We just want you to sell the hot dogs. You don't know what your hot dog vendor's beliefs are. You shouldn't know. So on the other hand, whoever's doing this, whoever's spreading rumors about somebody being a Nazi, you know, that's something that we should be concerned about. I just don't. It doesn't make me happy. This doesn't make me happy. This video puts me in a really rough spot, by the way. We're gonna get to that in a second as he goes on. The radical center. Yeah. All right. You guys have anything to say so far? Screen? No. Okay.
It's good meter. All right, fine.
He's upset about it. $500 goal. And by the way, part of that is my fault. I should have had him on. The book looked okay. I mean, it wasn't as good as Guinevere, his other book, at all. But it looked okay, and I probably could have had him on, and he could have met his goal. And you can tell he's a little bit bitter about that with me. You know, I'm still sorting out who I am in Comicsgate. A lot of people have different ideas about it. Let's look.
I have set up a pre-order system in BackerKit, which is kind of hinging off of the successful Kickstarter we already did. So people who were in the Indiegogo campaign can go to BackerKit and the link down in the description and pick up all the White Lily 3 goodies. I was expected and being put under pressure to control the political views and forms of expression of my artistic team. So
that's why we don't want to do this. That's why, like, you know, the idea of keeping your politics to yourself is best. It's just best. It's best if people don't know, because yeah, you find yourself in a position where you've got to control now. You've got to answer for someone's politics. That was the very thing that, you know, happened to Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics, their creators would not shut up, and they were driving fans away because people were aware of their radical politics, and therefore some people did not want to buy their comics. And unfortunately, their radical politics ended up within their comics. That was the whole impetus for Comicsgate and the whole wisdom behind the idea that you should probably keep it to yourself. If you're in it for money, if you're not in it for money, if you're in it to fight, if you're in it 100% to fight SJWs, I think you can do both. But if you're in it 100% to fight SJWs with your own content, then feel free to do whatever you want. But do expect that you're going to receive the same thing that we gave Marvel Comics. You know, that's going to end up happening. All right.
So this is another tactic that the left will do. They'll say, oh, so-and-so did something, and then that accusation is a basis of proof, even if, as in this case, there was no damage. The allegation which was being made against my artist did not influence the person. And they didn't say, I was put under the impression that this other person was a Nazi. It's, well, somebody on their art team said that this person was a Nazi. I knew better yet. Okay, so no harm was done, but I'm being put under all this pressure that I should fire this person from my artistic team.
Hey, welcome to the role of leadership. You know, you're about to accuse me of the same, you know, mismanaging the same situation. You know, this is what happens. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, you know, being in a position where people look to you for any kind of leadership whatsoever. And I don't want to be put in a position of leadership. I'm just a dude. I'm a dude on YouTube who, with a frog book, who has a very, very big platform that people seem to profit from. So therefore, people look to me for things that I haven't volunteered. I haven't volunteered this. All right, let me keep going.
Seems rather controlling, much like certain other people we know. And another thing that...
What was that about? Just a shot at AOC out of nowhere. Why is AOC controlling? What is going on? Is AOC controlling, or is she just stupid? You know, I'm not sure.
I mean,
all right.
It's definitely a left phenomenon. Like, you don't see this on the right too much. very slippery labels. Like if you really sit down and talk with somebody on the left about like what they believe in and try and put it in terms of labels, well, it becomes very slippery. What does socialism mean? Was Venezuela real socialism, or was it state capitalism? What does communism mean? What does it mean to be a progressive? What do any of these things really mean? What does it mean to be a racist? As Brett Weinstein said, the left will tend to adopt one label when they're kind of trying to make it seem reasonable. Like if they want to make progressivism seem reasonable, then it's like, oh, well, progressivism is just about, natural progress in human society towards being more fair. But then privately, it'll turn into democratic socialism, something far more radical and less palatable. Similarly, comics get.
Somebody just pointed out, and it's funny, Spirit Scar, thank you, says you were in an uncomfortable situation with Dave Sim. You made the tough choice to sever that professional relationship. Yeah, this is what happens. You got to kind of weigh, like some battles are worth fighting, and others unfortunately just aren't. But I mean, that's you're responsible. You're responsible for what you're doing. You're responsible to your customers, and ultimately, you're responsible to yourself. Is it going to be about Cyberfrog, or is it going to be about fighting this battle to? No, it's got to be about Cyberfrog at all times. It's got to be about what's best for the customers.
It was supposedly comics for everybody, comics that were free of ideology.
Mm-hmm.
But now I was attacked over the weekend as producing a comic which was not up to their quality standards because I wasn't a declared member of their little group. So
no, that I don't. It wasn't me. I didn't. He wrote to me. The first time I heard from him was the day I left Comicsgate. The day I left Comicsgate, way back in November, I think it was, or October, I heard from him and he said, "I'm so glad you left Comicsgate. Now I can pitch you my book that you could support." And I said, "Okay." And then he started sending me stuff, and I looked at it and went, I'm not really, no. The fact that for a minute I left Comicsgate, that would make me less likely to promote your books. Frankly, when I consider myself Comicsgate, I consider part of my job to promote people's comics. Part of my moral duty to promote the best of Comicsgate's books. It's not even my job. I don't get paid for it. But I mean, actually, if I left Comicsgate, you'd all be stranded. These creators. I wouldn't promote your books. For what? For what reason? There's no cause. There's no movement. There's nothing to accelerate or grow. There's nothing to gain momentum. Without Comicsgate, there's no momentum. And there's no opportunity to change things without the civil rights movement. What does the civil rights movement mean? That's a label. That's a label. I can't use that label because some people within the civil rights movement are bullies. Some people don't. I don't like that. So I'm not going to use. Okay, well, I mean, if you can't house this forward trajectory, this movement under a label, and he wants to attack the idea of labels. If you can't do that, then you really don't go anywhere because people need labels. People need to be able to identify an idea simply with one word. Not a bunch of wishy-washy this or that. They need to say, what is Comicsgate? And there needs to be an answer. And it needs to be a good answer. It needs to be one that people understand and can either agree with or disagree with. And then when we do things as a group of creators, producing our own things, when we're actually out there saying, look, these comics together, this guy's a Comicsgater, this guy's a Comicsgater, we all agree with this one idea. We've conformed to this one idea. That this is the way comics should be. Conformity is a terrible thing. Then we can actually get things done. Newspaper articles aren't being written about individuals outside of Comicsgate. Hit pieces aren't being written about, the Daily Beast isn't attacking individuals mostly. They're attacking the idea of Comicsgate because there's strength in numbers. We are a threat. When we all align in some way, when we all agree to get together, hang out, when we all agree to use the same hashtag and produce great stuff, we have strength. There's strength in numbers. They're afraid. They're afraid. All right, let me just keep going here.
If you use that definition, which by the way seems to be a pretty functional definition, when you look at who gets who gets the shekels from the Comicsgate crowd.
There it all is, right there. Let me rewind that for a minute. What is the issue here? What is the issue at hand? The fact that he was trying to raise $500 for his comic book, he didn't get it. What is the issue? Let's hear it again.
Pretty functional definition when you look at who gets who gets the shekels from the Comicsgate crowd. It's the person who has received the blessing of Ethan Van Sciver.
Boom. And see that frown? All right. So we were kind of in agreement about some things up until this point. You can't just look at me. First of all, you can't just look at me as a cash register. My audience is not a cash register. My audience is not an ATM machine. My audience is here, and they're here all the time. Most of them, I'm sure there are hate watchers in the audience. But my audience is here, and they're here regularly because they agree with what I say. Most of them kind of agree with my point of view about what Comicsgate is. Most of them kind of agree with my ideas of what it should mean, why it's good for comics. Most of them are here because they enjoy the way I say it, and they're watching progress happen. They're watching a forward thrust happen that could actually save the comic book industry. You can't simultaneously decry conformity to the ideas for which this crowd kind of comes together every night while envying their money, while demanding their money and my platform. You can't do it. It doesn't make any sense. They're not going to pay you. If you sit there and go, Comicsgaters are, this and that, and Comicsgate is a dying movement because my $500 book didn't get funded, and I blame it on Ethan Van Sciver because, I couldn't get his blessing. But I don't believe in his ideas anyway. And the only time I interacted with him, the first time I interacted with him was when he left Comicsgate for a day. How do you expect my audience to support you? I've had real difficulty with this. I've had people offer me opportunities to promote and sell comics that are SJW. Make a little extra money. The content of the story is SJW. I can't do it. I can't expect people to support this stuff. I can't. They won't do it.
When you look at who gets who gets the shekels from the Comicsgate crowd,
the customers look at books and decide that they're good enough to support. But there's also this kind of understanding that you are going to be someone who agrees with these two basic precepts, that you support customers and the concerns of customers, and that's who gets that's where the shekels are coming from, the customers, and that your books are going to be free from politics that are going to bother them. They're going to make them feel left out. Not everybody in this audience is a right winger. Comicsgate is not a right wing movement. It's a centrist movement. It's made up of everyone. There are liberals in this crowd. There are leftists in this crowd. We've got right wingers. We've got moderate Republicans. We've got hard right wingers. Everyone is in this crowd. We all agree with this one simple idea: just leave your shit out of the comics and be nice to the customers. But I don't decide that. That's I could bring you on here. I could show your book. And by the way, I've done this a few times. Like I've really learned to be more selective about the comics that I bring on my show. Because I could bring on a guy that I think is cool. I think he's a cool guy, and then try to sell his comic, and his comic I know isn't very good. I know his comic isn't very good. I look at it and I go, yes, this isn't very good. It never sells. I can't move it. It's like dragging an anvil. I can't sell it. It's great when you have a book like Monster MD. You bring that guy on and he's not going to sit there. He's like, yeah, I'm comics guy. He's not going to talk about his politics. I don't know who he is. But his book is great. And just showing it to people, it's like, brrr, sales ring up. Shinobi Sasquatch, sales ring up. Flying Fortress, sales. Lone Star sells itself. These books sell themselves. All right.
It's the person who has, received the blessing of Ethan Van Sciver.
Look at that. I want to look him in the eye. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. I'm sorry. What? You have my blessing. I was busy. I don't always do this. This isn't what I always have to do. I don't always have to do this. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you catch me at the wrong time, I'm not going to promote your book because I'm just not doing it right now. Just not doing it. And I probably would have because I really liked, and I think I did mention Guinevere, that other book, a couple of times. I gave it a little support. But yeah, I didn't have you on the show. I would have liked to because I don't know. You're eloquent. I like eloquent people.
If you don't get that, you're not in the club. Therefore, you must not have a quality comic book.
Well, I mean, look again. Comicsgate isn't a club. It is a group of individuals, but at some point we do have to kind of all align under the same hashtag so that we can actually affect change. It can't it can't all be about my YouTube channel. This is something that I said, and it drove a lot of people crazy. A lot of people are like, now Ethan's telling us not to. I've said this over and over again. I started with a YouTube channel with 54 people on it. And I just, for some reason, fans found that this was my YouTube channel. And there was like images of me firing a BB gun into the woods. Those videos have been taken down. And that was my YouTube channel. And I started with 54 subscribers. And I built it every single day from October 2017 to today. I do content every single day. I go on other people's channels. I tell people this, and sometimes people actually do the work. And other time they look at me like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. You've got to make a decision. You can call me names and you can ignore me and you cannot listen to my advice and then see where it gets you. I'm an imperfect man. I'm not your teacher. I'm not your priest. I don't know you. I'm not your boss. You're not giving me any money. I don't owe you anything. But what I do is I give you some advice that I give to everyone. And that is, do what I did. If you want to do a crowdfunded comic book, you first must make sure that you have, I would say, 25,000 subscribers, either on Twitter or on YouTube. Why? That's if you want a big success. If you want a big success, 25,000. Why? Because 10% of most people, 10% of your audience is going to support your project. So 2,500 subscribers who are backers of your project, you're going to see a financial success. You can't just count on me. I'm a man of whim, and I'm mostly thinking about me and my family. I'm not thinking about you and your family. I'm not thinking about your comic full time. That's your job. You have to think about your comic full time. If you want your comic to succeed, get off your ass and do the work that I did. And by the way, some of the work that I did goes back to 1993 when I started drawing my own comic book and then put in 25 years in the comic book industry. Go back and do that first, and then go and do what you're doing right now. People want to know why. Why was I able to? Because I spent 25 years of my life working in mainstream comics, honing my craft, working alongside the biggest and most talented creators in the world and producing classics, producing classic trade paperbacks that are on people's bookshelves and will never leave their bookshelves. Green Lantern Rebirth, Sinestro Core War, Flash Rebirth, New X-Men, E for Extinction. These comics are, that's my work, that's my legacy. And then even after that, I got on YouTube and I started my own channel and I worked on it every single day, creating entertaining content that kept people coming back and kept my sub count growing. And then I humbly went on other people's shows and asked for more support, asked for more subscribers. I built up my YouTube subscriber count to the point where I am now independent and I don't need anyone else's help. I say this to people when you tell some people that they need to look out for themselves, that they need to do the work for themselves, some people get angry. Some people resent it. Some people blame you. But at no point did I say, "Your boy Zach, you have a bigger channel than me. You owe me. If Cyberfrog doesn't succeed, it's because of you." And your cult, your fans are a cult now because they didn't give me what I wanted. I don't know what else to say. I keep telling you, I keep giving people the answers, but the answers are hard. The answers are difficult. The answers require self-sacrifice, time, and work. You don't get everything that you want handed to you all the time. That, my friend, what you are discussing is an NPC idea. That's an SJW concept. The idea that you need to, you are owed something. That it's not fair, that some people get a little boost because I like them personally. They've been my friend. Mike Miller's been my friend for 2 decades. I care about him and his family. You can't compare yourself to Mike Miller and the benefits he gets from being my friend and vice versa. Some people have actually stood by me in times where I thought the world was coming to an end. John Malin, a professional who understands me like nobody else because John Malin went through it. And John Malin did something that I admire. John Malin stood up to it when it took me a long time to stand up. John Malin stood up right away. John Malin deserves all of my support and all of my respect, and he'll always get it. And he also spent 2 decades working in mainstream comics. Along the way, people like me and people like John Malin, we look around and we go, because we have been given so much, and I have been, you guys, you made Cyberfrog the most incredible success. People are still talking about it. People are insane with envy and jealousy over Cyberfrog. Insane. They want to destroy it. They want to cut it down. They want to make my life difficult. They want to make me unhappy for it. Well, they can't because I have you guys. I'll never be unhappy. I have you guys. I'll never be unhappy. I have a beautiful family. I have talent that's going to take me anywhere. What you think that like bleeding off 100 fans with lies and just fomenting disenchantment like this and envy and hatred? Do you think this is long term going to make a big deal to me? You're not correct. People saying things like this aren't correct. You're not offering people the truth. You're offering them propaganda based on just being sad and angry at your own failure because you didn't put the work in. You depended on other people and you looked at other people who were having it easier than you and you got very upset. Not everyone gets an equal outcome. That's a conservative idea, my right-wing friend. There are no equal outcomes. Things happen differently for different people, and it's never fair. It's not going to be fair. The way that you can level the playing field is by doing the work, getting yourself to the point. And I tell people, again, I'm going to say it one more time. How can you do it? Do not start a crowdfunded campaign if you're expecting big success, unless your platform is big enough and you have enough fans who watch you for you and only you because you sat there every day and you built Lego sets for people on speed cam to make them laugh. if you did that every single day for a year and acquired a fan base that loves you and would do anything for you and vice versa, that's when you should start a crowdfunding campaign for your comic book. And I do believe that's so much of what Comicsgate actually is from the professional side. You're quite right. There is a difference between the way customers see things and the way professionals see things. Customers have a right to good product. They have a right to be choosy and selective. They have a right within the comics to not have unexpected political or religious nonsense hurled at them. That's what the customers do. What we do is this. Our job is to somehow win over those customers. That's what we have to do. Professionals, we have to win over those customers. It takes time. All right, let's watch the rest of this. So it's $500. I would have given you $500.
According to them. A rather slippery label. And notice it's one that's designed to draw people in on the idea of, oh, it's just quality comic books. But once you're there, now you're under all this pressure to conform.
You are under some pressure to conform. That's what it's a hashtag. It's an idea. If you don't agree with the idea, don't come here. If you don't agree with Comicsgate, your other choice is to not be a part of Comicsgate. Why are you arguing about having to conform to an idea that people share that you clearly don't share? Because you just want the money out of it. You just want the money. You don't get it. You don't get the money from people who, I'm sorry, I don't get to go to a synagogue. I'm not Jewish. I don't get to go demand their money on the basis of, well, I don't agree with anything that you guys believe in. I'm not a Jew, but I deserve your money. I don't get to go to PETA and demand donations from people for the ethical treatment of animals. Even though I do agree with many of those ideas. And then go, you just want me to conform. Is it because I won't join your little church that you won't give me some money? Yes. Umbrella guy goes, he only needed $500. Yes, I would have given him He's asked me for $500. I would have done it. All right, let's keep going. This idea that it's like you have to conform once you, yes, that's right, you do. Or you don't have to be a part of it. You can choose not to be a part of Comicsgate. That's your other choice. Nobody's forcing you to be Comicsgate. If you choose to be Comicsgate or call yourself Comicsgate, please conform to the ideals of Comicsgate. Or don't ask for their money. Simple as that. All right, let's keep going.
And if you step out of line, you're going to get dogpiled.
Now that's okay. Let's stop right there. Step out of line, walk away. But a lot of people step out of line and then they want to insult the entire community that basically supported them or tried to support them. A lot of people decide to step out of line by being incredibly rude and insulting and ungracious and attacking Comicsgate. People don't like that. You understand? People go, wait a second. We thought you believed what we believe. We thought you were Comicsgate. We thought you wanted to help us change the comic book industry and take it away from SJWs. And now you're calling us names as you walk away? All right, people don't like that. On the other hand, don't dogpile people. Let these people walk away. If they want to walk away, let them walk away. They don't need to be attacked. They don't need to be put in memes. Just get them away from us. You can just go. You don't have to. Again, there's a lot of the idea that we have to do this. I have to be a part of this. I'm in a position where I need to be. You don't have to do this. You can choose to not do this. And on your way out, you can choose to not insult everybody who supported you and believed in you. Unless they didn't. I don't know. I guess in his case, not a lot of people did. So.
Isn't that the very thing that they sought to oppose?
No.
And a lot of this just goes right up to the top. Ethan Van Sciver is kind of the on-again, off-again leader of the movement.
Thank you for saying that. I am not the leader of Comicsgate. I know that there's this impression that I am. I am not the leader of Comicsgate. Or everyone should appoint me the leader of Comicsgate. If we can get a unanimous election that elects me the leader of Comicsgate, then I will do all of the things that people want me to do for them. If I have some sort of elected position as leader of Comicsgate, then you're going to start to see me behave like a leader of Comicsgate. As it is, I'm not. I'm just one of you. I just have a bigger platform that people seem to envy. I don't want to be the leader of Comicsgate. People say this to me. They go, you are the leader of Comicsgate, but don't you dare be the leader of Comicsgate because it's a leaderless movement. But why aren't you behaving like a leader right now? Why? It's incredibly weird. It's an awkward position to put me in. I don't lead people. I have a YouTube channel. I try to entertain people. I don't want to be your leader. I don't want to answer to you. And I gestured to the screen, to him, not you guys. I'll answer to you. I don't want to answer to you. I don't want to. I don't want to be your leader. I don't want to be the person who you come to with your problems. I have enough of that. I'm not even looking at the chat. I'm yelling at the screen. Mike S. Miller is our dear leader. Mike can be the leader of Comicsgate. Kelsey Shannon could be. Cecil could be. All these people could be the leader of Comicsgate. So, all right, let's go on. So now that we've gotten that clear, that I'm constantly being put in a position where I'm, when I express myself, and I give people suggestions and advice, people say, I'm like, when I say you're going to need to raise this many subscribers before you grow, people say, you're not the leader of Comicsgate. Why are you putting it? And then when I do not step up and handle Twitter disputes, I should be showing more leadership. People are counting on me to lead. I don't want to. I'm happy where I'm at. This is the perfect position for me. I got my YouTube channel. I can talk about what I want to. I can talk about my ideas of Comicsgate. You can agree with them or disagree with them. In detail, that's fine. You can be a part of Comicsgate. You cannot be. If I like your book, I might have you on my channel, but not necessarily. There might be times when I don't feel like it. I might just be in a different mood. I might want to make videos about Dumbo, the elephant, for 6 weeks. That just might be the mood I get in. And it's not personal. It's just, like I said, I'm a creature of whim. All right, let's look.
When he feels like being the leader, he'll go, "Oh, Comicsgate is this. This person is Comicsgate." He will baptize people in a Comicsgate. Like Peter Samedi, you've never declared yourself to be Comicsgate, but you are Comicsgate.
It's just a fact that he's Comicsgate. Just a fact. He is. He's expressed every single thing about Comicsgate. So he is. It's not about me saying that he is. It's just a fact that people can kind of see. He could say he's not if he wants to. But you know what? I think Comicsgaters kind of look at Peter Samedi and go, yeah, this guy's got the right idea. He doesn't have to use the hashtag. He's just got the right idea. This idea that I baptize people Comicsgate. Maybe we need a bishop of Comicsgate. I don't know. Yeah. All right.
And other people who go, "This person is not Comicsgate." He will clearly don the leader cap and say what Comicsgate is or isn't, or who's in or who's not in. But then he won't take any responsibility.
I don't do that. I don't say who's in and who's not in. That's you projecting. You want to be on the show. You weren't on the show. You're upset. You didn't get to come on the show, pretend to be Comicsgate, and get $500 off of these people in the audience right now. That's it.
In fact, people have asked him to police his rabid fans who go under the moniker War Campaign, and he refuses. If you look at this Twitter exchange, this is one of his fans who's saying, "Hey, I'm one of your fans. I buy your books, but can you please keep your other fans in line?" And he says, "Look, I'm just here for the adoration. I have no interest in disciplining or suggest.
Why would I want to discipline my fans? Why would I want to discipline this group of fans at the whim of this other group of fans? What kind of position would that put me in if my full-time job was policing the behavior of other adults on the internet? Now, I lead by example. I tell people on Twitter, and I'm not perfect either. I'm not a leader. I don't owe anybody this. But I do say on Twitter, I say, look, behave yourself. Let's go to my Twitter page. This is what I do. You can like it or not. I don't know. Maybe you won't like it. Talk about flat Earth theory is something that I do. Can I find it? Oh, here it is. Don't harass anyone in my name. Don't use Comicsgate as an excuse to bother and torment individuals for any reason. I'm speaking to everyone associated with the movement in any way. If what I want means anything to you, and that's assuming that it does, you might not give a damn what I want. I don't want to see anything except for positivity. So, again, Comicsgate should be more of a family that shares the love of great comics for everyone. We could and should encourage others to participate and not make people feel excluded or left out. I'm concerned about the ugliness of purity testing customers. It's what we were fighting. Don't harass anyone in my name. Don't use Comicsgate as an excuse to bother and torment individuals for any reason. I'm speaking to everyone associated with the movement in any way. If what I want means anything to you, I don't want to see anything except for positivity. That's all around. That goes to everybody. It goes for everybody. Ooh, that's an unfortunate.
Listening to any of my fans that they do things. So Ethan Van Sciver is not going to police his super fans and all the obnoxious stuff they do. But
I wonder if Justin Bieber does that. I wonder if it's the responsibility of artists and creative people who have become kind of famous, have a big fan base. I wonder if it's their responsibility to police their fans. Has anyone ever said that? Like, hey, Katy Perry, get your fans in line. Get your fan club. You have a fan club that's out of line. They're fighting with this other fan club. Why do people have the balls? Why would they say this? Why they don't say this to anyone except for me? I'm sure of it. EVS is the Justin Bieber of comics. Yeah. It's all fun and games. Says Bieber beats up his fans for making memes. Platinum Robo says EVS is a merchant, not a village headman. Yeah. Wait. All right. Yeah. Ethan, come on. All I want is for you to sell my book for me and to use your clout to make sure I have no detractors. That's all. Yeah, no big deal. Andino Palacio says only dictators police their people's behavior. All right.
By the way, I'm expected to police all of the social interactions of my art team.
Well, you're first of all, as we just pointed out, first of all, that is your responsibility. That is your responsibility. If you are associated with your art team, you are associated with the people that you work with. You're not associated with your fans. They're not your responsibility. I am not responsible for my fans. I tell them what to do. Did you hear me just tell them what to do? Hey, don't harass people in my name. I don't want to see any Hail Caesar or anything else as you bother people who don't want to be bothered. You want to have fun? That's fine. Don't harass anyone in my name. Don't use Comicsgate as a reason to bother, torment individuals. Don't do it. Okay? And that's for everybody. Say it again. That's it. That's about all I can do on that front. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do unless I'm full-time babysitter for grown-ups on the internet. People who have not figured out what the internet is. However, as someone else pointed out, when I was going to work with him, Dave Sim reached out to me and said, I want to work with you. And I said, okay, Yeah, that okay. I heard some stuff about you and some problems like you being super like, misogynist, and I would like to talk to you about that, but that doesn't seem like something I can't, that's fine. So I started talking to him, and then other stuff emerged. SJWs pulled out other stuff that emerged that was too troublesome for me. It was too much. I didn't want to be associated with it. I didn't want to have to answer for it. I didn't like it. I personally didn't like it. So what my responsibility was to myself and also to the people who were buying Cyberfrog is not to make them associated with it either, because it wasn't something that was good. It wasn't, it wasn't something moderate. It just wasn't something good. So it was my job to make that decision. I could have chose to stay and just fight it out. That would have been fine too. That would have been another choice that I could have made. But it was my responsibility.
What kind of crazy double standard is that?
It's not a double standard, dude. It's not. You are responsible for the people who produce the work that you're selling to other people. You are not responsible for your, perhaps, thousands and thousands of fans. How could you be? How could you hold me responsible for 128,452 people and their personal behavior and interactions? It's not my responsibility. I refuse to make it my responsibility, you clown. No matter how high you raise your eyebrows and point your finger. I can't. I won't. It's not my responsibility. It's unreasonable. It's unfair. All right.
Oh, which, by the way, is another kind of...
Another shot at AOC. What? Why don't you make this video about AOC? What?
Comic skaters will attack that they have themselves succumbed to. So we've got a lot of doublespeak, a lot of slippery labels, and a huge effort towards conformity. This is a sinking ship. People are...
Your comic book couldn't raise $500. When you say this is a sinking ship, look in the mirror. Comicsgate is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and everyone who treats this audience properly does well. They succeed. When they have talent, when they're willing to put in the work, there is no double standard. There is no slippery label. We know who we are right here. We know who we are. Comicsgate has a specific meaning. It's only two things. It's two things. And I keep repeating it over and over again. If you believe in those two things, you are technically Comicsgate. If you want to fly the hashtag, fly the hashtag. If you don't want to, don't. This Comic Artist Pro Secrets is not the whole of Comicsgate. I know that it is the biggest engine. It's the biggest power battery for Comicsgate, but there are others. And if there aren't others that that meet your needs, create your own. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you and I do not align. That the only reason you reached out to me was because you thought I'd given up on this hashtag, which is my life, which I am prepared to spend the rest of my life defending because it's important to me. I'm so sorry that we couldn't figure it out and I couldn't get you on my show where you could get money off of my fans. I'm sorry. It's not fair. It isn't fair. Go donate your blood. Use that money to get your book funded.
Or either abandoning it or getting kicked out. Within a year, it's going to be recognized as obviously what it is, which is just Ethan Van Sciver and friends.
All right, you want to say that me and your boy Zach are the Three Stooges? There are only two of us. Excuse me.
Insubordination.
Comicsgate is an idea. It's an enduring idea. It's an idea that will live long past me. It's way more important than me. It is the comic book industry. It's trying to rescue the comic book industry from itself. No, I'd be Curly. I would not be Shemp. We can do better than this. I mean, this is the whole thing. We don't have to make this a thing about envy. We could make this a thing that actually goes forward and does really, really well. But I really do feel like at this point they're just there's a certain element of negativity. There are some things that need to change in order for this to get better. I can't let you use my fans. I can't do it. I can't. Because if this does become just EVS and friends, that's me and 128,453 people. Plus Zach and his audience. That's enough. It's all it needs to be. It's all it needs to be. And I seriously doubt that, any effort to change that is going to succeed.
And then I expect the hashtag will probably fade out into oblivion. As previously mentioned, my campaign for White Lily issue 3 is available.
Let me sell my book, sell my book, sell my book, sell my book. Yeah. Well, yeah, and there's I got to get this off of my screen. I'm looking at Mark Waid's face right now in this picture. No, NPC culture is not taking over Comicsgate. It's not. I believe in this movement with all my heart. I think it's worth fighting for. I think making great comics, I think the principles of Comicsgate are worth fighting for too. And no, it's not going to become NPC. It's craziness. All right, let me read some super chats here. Simon Oliver says EVS only baptizes frogs in his pool filter. Simon Oliver says, or no, Dex Luther says, EVS, does that $500 for everyone, for anyone? I can use $500, LOL. Umbrella Guy goes, hey there, unlike Malin though, I hear Tug is a friend enough to help you bury the bodies and not live stream you doing it. Thank you so much, Tug. Yeah, I appreciate that. Kathy Ose, new member. Finn Frog, $5. Now to get bigger, you need to sell your bath water. That works. Project RX, new member. Thank you. Eric Lavoie says you need to be able to promote yourself. EVS is not the only option. Downcast did well before being promoted by EVS. What a great example. What a great example. And by the way, somebody like Downcast does not. Downcast, if you think that that he sounds like some kind of like NPC or clone, he has different ideas. But I think he subscribes to the main tenets of Comicsgate. He's quick to criticize it when it goes awry. But in the meantime, he built his own platform, and he did very well. Abominable Dr. Ferbs, thanks for joining. Jam Crate says, I've seen plenty of people raise money without being on your show. That being said, I'd love to be on to promote my channel. Let's see. That Umbrella Guy goes, hey there, can I get your Human Sunbeam Blessing O Grand Comicsgate cash register? Tug is another one. Tug is another dude who completely built his own platform and then rocked it when he did his. And Tug doesn't even have any experience doing comics. It was his first time. But he engaged his audience and he built a crowd. He built an audience that loved him, believed in him, and wanted to support what he did. And then he made $85,000 on Indiegogo. Jeg says, leaving Comicsgate because of inapt people like War Campaign is like leaving the church because of a few priests. Get some damn conviction. Only social justice warriors lack conviction. Comicsgater fan 34 says, great point, Cecil. Cecil just said, Doug is now courting the I Stand With Vic crowd, but I remember him saying on a stream that he believed the accusations against Vic, the fakest of the fake. Comicsgater fan 34 says, great point, Cecil. Doug said he was going to self-publish. Then he went to work for SJW Dynamite before publishing even one single thing. So fake. All right, there's a backhanded slap at me. Edgar Cruz says, artist edition and cards. Now please give us a date. And cards. Now please give us a date. Well, I don't know yet. I'm not sure. I want to make sure that the books are in people's hands before I do another campaign. And I think that's probably the best way to also sell extra stuff is when you guys have the books. Jane Skipper says, is a new member. Thank you. Brian last name says, when you have an idea for your comic, do you write them out like a script or a story first? What's the best way you keep notes? Thanks for the wisdom. Yeah, I will actually write notes. I have a notebook where I'll just scroll out ideas, and just and keep them scribbled out, so that I can go back and look. You can't. It's hard to write a script just sitting down for me, and I don't know. Ideas come to you piecemeal. You improve on things as you go. So initially, I think you should think things through and then keep notes. DJ Kong says Doug picks as many fights as he complains about. Crazy Maynard 2003 says said the guy who attacked his backers and brought drama to 90% of the streams he was on. Hypocrite Doug. Phil RZ28, thanks for joining. Cumberbatch Pepper Pop says, would it be legal for you to draw a picture of Spider-Man and the unfortunate little boy and send to his family? It would be legal, yeah, absolutely. Oh, God. I'm still upset about that. Casis, new member. Thank you. Rocky Road says, this is the first super chat I ever sent. Thank you, Rocky Road. John Shadester says, hey, EVS, I'm working on making a comic of my own. Thanks for inspiring me. Make comics, Comicsgate Fanto Pro. Jonathan Hurdham, thanks for $1.99. Jason Duran says, hi, Ethan. Where do I sign up as a new member? I think there's a button down by the subscribe that says join. You click on that, and that'll get you there. Yeah. Eric Weathers says, want Comicsgate comics set back in World War II, back Flying Fortress, over 200 pages of story and less than 30 hours to go in the campaign. We got to get moving with that, Eric. Jake Foley says, fans don't equal art team. Correct. That's a simple thing. I don't know why I didn't get that. Artura77 says, why do so many fools want you to parent everyone? I don't know. I can't do it. That's not something that I want to do. John Moriarty says, EVS, if you were to police your fans the way he wants, Comicsgate would become the club your detractors accuse it of being. Yeah, I mean, the mere fact that you kind of just let people do their own thing is what makes Comicsgate, not an SJW thing. SJWs actually do police each other big time. They police each other and they toss people out. I don't want to. I don't think that's the way to do it. I think honestly, you just kind of every now and then just remind people that hey, you might be watching them and you're hoping that they behave themselves. But I can't control people. I don't want to control people. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. Adrian Stone, thanks for being a new member. Raging Golden Eagle says Comicsgate is immune to NPC infiltration as long as it stays a meritocracy. NPCs are parasites. They can't create anything of value. That is true. The Buzz, CJC, Quorum, and Achuro77, thanks for becoming new members. Yeah. College student FMU says, dang, I have to join. I will just leave. Bye. You don't have to join. It's a choice. You don't have to join. Craig Duty, thanks for becoming a new member. Yeah, all these new members are great. If you do join, your name will turn green. You're going to be able to get your own. I'm going to do badges that you'll be able to get, and you will get to be a part of private chats. Chief of Comics COC says, I spent 21 years in the Army. I'm done playing the control game. Yeah, again, it's just not. It's not something that I signed up to do. So I'm not going to do it. I hope you guys hear me and behave yourselves. I hope that you guys conduct yourselves in a way. If you're gonna say Hail Caesar, I hope that you conduct yourselves in a way that makes me proud, is not embarrassing to me, and that doesn't cause me extra stress and anguish as things like this do. This really bothers me. It's this idea that I don't know. It's this idea that I need to do more than simply what I'm doing, which is entertain and sell comics. I don't want to do more than that. Adam Post and EJ Moore, just thank you for becoming members. Appreciate you. Craig Dudiel as well. Thank you. Really appreciate you guys. All right. Giovanni Panetti says, you are a son of a bitch. Gots the Iron Hand says, I will never use your name or anyone else's as a cudgel. Thank you. Chris Sawyer says, behave. You're talking to a guy who made Doug wash his hands, EVS. That was funny. People used to make Doug wash his hands. He used to like brag about not washing his hands. Ethan, where did you get that hat? Where did I get this hat? Let me think. I don't know. I don't remember where I got this hat. I like it though. It's comfortable. Let me think again. I don't know. I still don't remember. I'll let you know. A downshift says, EVS, are you going to have lewds in the private chats? Yes, but they're all going to be of Cecil. New member, welcome Maddie Russell. Welcome Donovan Knight. Appreciate you guys. Magic Carpet Ride says, solve all of our problems, Ethan. If your problems are more severe than you would like some pie, I don't know if I can help you. Evan James says, EVS, I don't have a join button. Is it because I subscribe to YouTube Red? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't see a join button either next to my subscribe. Is it something that you only see on a PC? It's possible that you only see it on a PC and not on anything else. Fluxcore says, EVS, you look stressed, dude. I am stressed. Thank you. I've got a million things going on, and I've got, like I said, two hit pieces about me today. Hit pieces are no fun. I mean, it's you just read them and you go, why can't people just kind of chill out, mellow? New member Peter Mayer, thank you. New member, welcome to Dallas Deadeye. I appreciate you guys. New member, welcome Michael Beacon. New members are rolling in. It's awesome. Yeah, it's like, especially when they're just not true. Like it's like stuff. Like I think I'm pretty good at receiving criticism, but some criticism makes me angry because it's either built on lies, and the lies are in the Bleeding Cool article, or it's built on faulty assumptions and just entitlement, like this other one. And again, when you look at it, and it comes down to when his face changes, because it's like, I didn't get funded. I didn't get my $500 because Ethan Van Sciver did not bless me, or whatever it is. What a bishops? I don't know. So that's when the truth comes out. New member, welcome Paul Sids. What is that? Peyton Holden, thanks for $2. He says sing. I was thinking about it. I went on and looked at an old video I did of me just doing a piano stream, and it was lovely. I enjoyed listening to myself. I was like, I should do that again, but not right now. John Chidester says, if you're on mobile, go in for a super chat. It is down there. All right, so if you're mobile, let me go in for a super chat for myself. Show support for Comic Artist Pro Secrets. No, it just says send super chat. John Whalen says, EVS, we need a better hat than the crypto. Quality's bad. Is the hats at Crypto Fashion aren't good? Tell me why. Like, send me a little message on send me a message on Twitter and tell me what the problem is, because I'll fix that right away. The thing about Crypto Fashion is they can get a new merchant to get hats from, a new supplier, so we can fix that. New member says Vizindi, new member Vizindi P, welcome as well. Pretty nice. We got a lot of people here tonight. It's great. Over 1,500 people. Appreciate it. FP Sunny says Caesar's blessing will heal all sickness, but you get obese. Yeah, that's for sure. There's a pie upstairs. Like Kaylee brought home an apple pie, and I'm just looking at it like, no, I can't have it. I've been, aside from eating a whole lot of ribs yesterday for 4th of July, I've been relatively good. I haven't really gotten way out of line, and I'm losing weight. But yeah, a pie is deadly. You're looking for trouble if you bring a pie in here. I can't, I'm like, I exercise control at the supermarket. I can't exercise control in my own home. That's not what I want to do. Eric Powell wants to start a Give No Shits Mad Magazine replacement. Well, that'd be interesting. All right. I'm looking at Bleeding Cool now and seeing if there's anything else I want to talk about. I'm enjoying live streaming, but I ran out of subjects. Why couldn't that video be longer? All right, everyone. I'll let you go, and somebody else will probably pick up the thread. Make sure to let's see. Rusty Shackelford said, "Can you say, hey Danielle, Dave loves you a lot." Hey Danielle, Dave loves you a lot. He does. He just paid me to say that. New member Quinn Crane, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the new members. You guys are wonderful. New member, welcome Eric. Cyborg Valkyrie says, no, keep going. Oh, Friday night auctions. Friday night auctions are going on right now over at Mike's. If you want to go buy some artwork, you should go check that out. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. Is Malin going to stream? I don't know. He might be at the... Sometimes he goes and sits in the auction. I'm not sure what he's doing. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. Just be kind to each other, please. Like I said, I believe in this hashtag. I believe in this movement. I do. I talk to my wife about it all the time. I really feel like it can make a difference. I feel like it can make a change, and we can do it together. I hate to see the fighting. I really hate it. It breaks my heart, and I wish that we weren't fighting. I wish that everybody kind of got along and we all had the same goals, which is to make comics profitable and make good comics. Prosperous and fun and available and widespread. Let people do comics the way they want to do them. I hope we can get back to that. I do. And, I don't think, Comicsgate for that reason, I think has a bright future ahead of it, especially when you see what we got coming up. All right, guys, take care. See you again soon.